Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel again today. So what we're going to talk about today is something which affects quite a lot of people at the moment, okay, which is also concerning for an awful lot of people, which is mortgage costs and why they're actually on the rise, even though interest rates in the last week have been cut. So a lot of people are confused: if interest rates are being cut, why aren't mortgages coming down? So what we thought we'd do today is just go into it, explain some of the reasons why this can potentially happen, okay, and hopefully we'll be able to answer a few questions. So interest rates. So these are the rates that banks charge for borrowing money. So when interest rates are low, which obviously they did get cut this week, it's typically, and it's normally the case, that it's cheaper to borrow. And then we come to mortgage rates. Okay, so then you've got your mortgage rates, which are the interest rates that lenders charge for home loans. And they can be influenced by the following factors, including the base rate set by the central bank, otherwise known as the Bank of England. So the number one question is, why are mortgage costs rising at the end of the day? So things that you need to take into account is inflation. Is inflation low? Is it high? Is it on the rise? Is it on the decrease? So that's one of the first things that you've got to take into account. Then is one of the old classic ones. I love this one: bank profits margins. And I know everybody complains all the time, you know, big businesses make too much money, you know, whether it's the energy companies we're moaning about, or, you know, these big international conglomerates, you know, not paying their due in tax and everything, the likes of Amazon and Facebook and Netflix and all these types of companies. People moan about it all the time, okay, but banks want to make profits at the end of the day, and generally they like to make big profits. So banks need to maintain profitability at the end of the day, okay, and even with lower interest rates they might increase mortgage rates to improve their bottom line at the end of the day, so they can make more money at the end of the day, so they can pay their staff more money, or their CEOs, and the shareholders, they can take a bigger cut, you know, at the end of their tax year. Okay, then you have the risk premiums. So lenders assess the risk associated with each borrower. Okay, more risk there is, more it's going to cost at the end of the day. So if they perceive increased risk, they charge higher interest rates anyway. Okay, and then the last one, which is the most relevant one at the moment with everything that's going on, okay, which is the global economic factors. So if you have geopolitical tensions or economic instability, which we've had in recent years, that can impact interest rates and consequently mortgage costs. So obviously we've had everything that's going on in America with the American election. You know, what is Trump going to do at the end of the day? So banks could take that into account. You know, he's threatening to well, it's not embargoes, but all the things that he's threatening to do towards China and everything, which could put a knock-on effect to the UK economy. You've got the war in the Middle East with Israel trying to take on everybody. You've got what's going on in Russia, with Putin taking on the Ukraine. So this puts more tension on, and the banks could make that take that as more of a risk. So there's the argument, potentially, I'm not saying this is the case, but potentially that could affect the rates of mortgages at the end of the day because of all these problems that are going on at the moment. So at the end of the day, the relationship between interest rates and mortgage costs is not always straightforward, where you think, right, interest rates have come down, my mortgage costings is going to come down. So it's not always the case. Sometimes you have to look at, as much as we all hate talking about politics and all that kind of rubbish, it is all political at the end of the day. Okay, so I hope this answers a few questions for everybody. If you do have any more questions, just put them in the comments down below and we'll try and answer them. But for now, thanks for listening. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, as we would appreciate it. But for now, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again a bit later.